In October 1973, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, imposed an oil embargo on the United States, leading to widespread fuel shortages and economic turmoil. This embargo was a direct response to U.S. support for Israel during the Yom Kippur War, a conflict that had significant geopolitical implications. The oil crisis not only disrupted daily life but also sparked a national conversation about energy independence and economic security. Long lines at gas stations became a common sight, and the frustration of waiting for hours just to fill up a tank of gas was felt by millions of Americans. The oil crisis began when OPEC, led by Middle Eastern countries, imposed an oil embargo in response to U.S. support for Israel during the Yom Kippur War. This strategic move by OPEC was intended to leverage their oil resources to influence global politics and assert their power on the world stage. The embargo drastically reduced oil supplies to the U.S., causing fuel prices to skyrocket and highlighting America's dependence on foreign oil. The sudden spike in oil prices had a ripple effect throughout the economy, affecting everything from transportation costs to the price of goods and services. As oil supplies dwindled, Americans faced long lines at gas stations, rationing, and price hikes. The government implemented odd-even rationing days based on license plate numbers to manage the limited supply, but this only added to the public's frustration and sense of urgency. The oil crisis led to inflation, a stock market crash, and widespread economic instability. Businesses struggled with higher operating costs, and consumers faced rising prices for everyday goods, leading to a period of economic hardship that affected all sectors of society. For the first time, energy security became a national priority, raising concerns about America's dependence on foreign oil. Policymakers and industry leaders began to explore ways to reduce this dependency and ensure a more stable and secure energy future. In response to the crisis, the U.S. government took steps to address the nation's dependence on foreign oil. President Nixon announced Project Independence, a plan aimed at achieving energy self-sufficiency by 1980 through increased domestic production and energy conservation measures. The oil embargo led to the creation of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, a stockpile of emergency oil supplies intended to mitigate future disruptions. This reserve was a critical component of the nation's strategy to protect against future energy crises. New energy policies aimed at conservation were introduced, encouraging Americans to reduce their energy consumption. Public service announcements and educational campaigns promoted energy-saving practices, such as carpooling and lowering thermostats. Investments in alternative energy sources such as solar and wind power began to gain traction. These early efforts laid the groundwork for the development of renewable energy technologies that are now a significant part of the global energy landscape. These measures were the first steps toward energy independence. The crisis underscored the need for a diversified energy portfolio and spurred innovation in energy technology and policy. The 1973 oil crisis left a lasting mark on U.S. energy policy and economic thinking. It highlighted the vulnerabilities of an over-reliance on foreign oil and the importance of developing a resilient and sustainable energy infrastructure. It raised awareness of the vulnerabilities of relying on foreign oil and spurred long-term efforts to increase energy efficiency and develop new technologies. Research and development in energy efficiency and alternative energy sources became a national priority. The lessons of the oil crisis continue to shape U.S. energy policy today. The push for renewable energy, energy efficiency, and reduced dependence on foreign oil remains central to the nation's energy strategy. The 1973 oil crisis was a turning point in American energy policy, a wake-up call that revealed the dangers of dependence on foreign oil. It prompted a re-evaluation of energy policies and set the stage for future energy reforms. Its legacy is felt today as the U.S. continues to pursue energy independence and sustainable alternatives in a world still shaped by the politics of oil. The ongoing efforts to develop renewable energy sources and improve energy efficiency are a testament to the enduring impact of the 1973 oil crisis. How do you think the 1973 oil crisis shaped modern energy policies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe Emgotv1